Hi there. Let me share with you a portion of the sermon I delivered at our church, Warfire Center in Gardnersville, Monrovia, Liberia, which I titled, Your Breakthrough is Dependent on You Taking the Lead. Every one of us has situations of all kinds, be it small, big, large, medium, the intensity, every one of us, and all of us want change. So we look up to God to bring a change in our life, to make the difference in our lives. But many of us do not know that the first step or the first person who takes the lead is that person who finds himself or herself in such a terrible condition. God has not worked outside faith. The world was created on faith, and the world embodiment or the foundation of the world is faith. And the world is going to end with faith. Just as he created the world in faith, so shall the world come to an end in faith. And God does not operate outside of faith. Everything about God is faith. And so, whatever situation you got, it can never be changed when you continue to worry, complain, feel so sad, and take it to most of your friends. The Bible has never ever said we should worry about anything. In Matthew chapter 11 verse 28, he said, "Cast your burden upon me." He didn't say cast it upon yourself. Neither did he say, take it to your friends. He says, in everything take it to the Lord in prayer. Prayer is faith. Faith is an action word. God does not operate in the absence of faith. He operates in faith. And this is what he meant when he says in Hebrews chapter 11, beginning from verse 1 on to verse 6. But verse 6 is the summarizer when he says, without faith, it is impossible to please him. Now, there are a number of people that God dealt with in the Bible. Some saw the breakthrough through faith. Some did not get a breakthrough because they didn't have faith. If they have faith, it was little faith, as he said of Peter. So, let's look at some of those people in the Bible who, in their desperation, took the lead first because they needed to come out of their situation. Not that God wasn't watching them. He was definitely watching. But he needed somebody to take the lead. If you're in such a bad state or a difficult situation, all you have to do is not to worry about it, not to complain to your friends. Your friends can solve it. No one can solve it better other than God. Now, what is required of you is to take that situation to the Lord, and that is faith. So you see, in Matthew chapter 8, verse 1, see the lepers. They had a terrible state. They was in a terrible state to the point that they were ostracized from society. Neither were they on Jesus' itinerary that he was going to visit them and to cleanse them. No. Stay in such a desperation for a very long time. They felt to themselves they needed to come out. And having heard about Jesus' passing, they moved. They did not remain where they were. In such a condition, they moved. They went into action. And it worked for them. Jesus healed them. Matthew chapter 8 verse 5 moving on to verse 13. We see of the Roman centurion. Here is a man of authority, of power, of wealth, of influence. His servant is lying down sick at the house, and he needed some kind of deliverance. The servant itself didn't have faith because such person was in a dying mood, and he felt that there was a need, that he got into action. So he acted on behalf of his servant. When he approached Jesus, Jesus didn't approach him. His servant is lying sick. And he wants his servants to be healed, his servant to be healed, because he loved him so much. As faithful and dedicated he was on the job, felt sick, he didn't want to lose this servant. So having heard about Jesus, the Bible says he immediately went and confronted Jesus in the face. After explaining all of that, that he is a man under authority, he can say to this person, go, and that person will go. Simply, he was telling Jesus, it is not about popularity, context. 2, it is not who has the most power. What matters here is the power of the gospel. Can you speak the gospel right here, and my servant will be healed? Jesus immediately, astonishingly responded when he said, I have not seen so strong a faith all over. And then the next one you see in Matthew chapter 9 verse 27, 2 blind men. Again, they weren't on Jesus' itinerary, not at all. Jesus was moving somewhere else, and they heard about him passing. Now they needed a situation to change. They did not wait and say Jesus will come to us, so let us sit here, he will come and change our situation. The Bible said they immediately ran after him. Now to run is to get in action. They immediately ran after him and shouted, Son of David. He was about to enter where he was going. And the Bible says he immediately stopped and looked back and asked the 2 men, what can I do for you? And they said, we want our sight to be restored. That's faith. Mark chapter 5 verse 25. See this woman with the issue of blood for 25 or 12 years. She was ostracized from society. She was banished. During those days, if you had a terrible disease, you were cut off from the rest of society. Can you imagine that? If any one of you in modern time facing such a situation, you will immediately commit suicide. 12 years she'd been in such state. And to some extent, or to a greater extent, she felt that God would have intervened in her situation like some of us think today. So we just sit down with that illusion that God in heaven will come and intervene immediately because he's faithful, he's almighty, he's all sufficient. Oh yes. But at the same time, we've got to understand that he is a God who operates in faith. So this woman sitting there heard about Jesus passing. She said, no, now is the time for my situation to change. Let me take the lead. God is willing. The Bible said the spirit is willing, but the flesh holds her back. And she said within herself, I must take the lead. And this lead is explained in 4 letters word. And so she moved, rumbled her way through, and touched the garment or the hem of Jesus. And he immediately responded. He didn't say, why you were worrying. He didn't say, why didn't you go explain it to your friends? No. He said, woman, your faith, nothing else he pointed to but faith. He said, woman, your faith has made you whole. Your faith has brought your deliverance. Your faith has brought your healing. Your faith has brought your breakthrough. That is exactly the nature and person of God. Now, you see in Luke chapter 5 verse 12. See this man with the leprosy. He didn't sit again. No, he felt that there was a need to move, and he did move. And he was cleansed. My people, all you have to do is to exercise faith. Believe in God that he's watching. He knows your situation more than you know. He knows what you need than you think you know of yourself. The Bible said before we can even speak, before we can even utter, before that situation can even occur, he knows, he sees. And he is willing to provide solution. He's willing to deliver us. He's willing to turn our situation around. But we must take the lead first. That's the kind of person he is. Faithful God. Now there are a couple of points I must share with you. First, 1, Good intentions without actions lead to frustration. Good intention without action leads to frustration, even more frustration. You have a good intention to be delivered. You have good intention to be transformed out of that situation, to be delivered. You have a good intention to experience a breakthrough. But what good is your intention when it's not supported or backed by action? And that action is referred to in the Word of God, and it is the name and nature of God, faith. And then the next thing, thousands good intentions are not as powerful as one. You can have many intentions as those people in the days of old and even people today have. But if one action isn't taken, what good is those thousands actions? What good are they? Ain't no good. You can have thousands intentions, but they must be supported by just one. And that one will lead to your breakthrough. That one will lead to your deliverance, will lead to your healing, will lead to God opening heaven's gate for you, will lead to that person getting off that sick bed. So, why worry? Why worry when you know that you have an all-sufficient God, a very big God? And that's the last point. Number 3. Life does not produce result by actions. No. Life does not produce results. Life does not produce results by intentions, but action. And in the context of number 3, you cannot change your past, but you can determine your destiny. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. The Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence not seen. You have it right before you. A belief system you can see, but you believe that with God it can happen because you believe in Him. You know the kind of person He is. You know His might, His ability, His power, His all-sufficiency. And so he concludes, so without faith it is impossible. Everybody that God dealt with, He dealt with them on the ground of faith, on the basis of faith. In the absence of faith, it doesn't work for anybody. So worry not when you find yourself in such a desperate state, because it wouldn't help you. It will only increase it. How do we know that? A number of people in the days of old, in both Old and New Testament times, worried, and it didn't change anything on them. In Matthew chapter 6 verse 25, he asks a simple question. Can the many worries add a single hour to your life? If God is asking me such question, then why worry? The Creator, the sustainer of the universe, who knows all about me, who created me in His image and likeness. There is nothing about me hidden from Him, neither the things around me. And then He tells me that can the many worries add a single hour to your life? That means the more I worry, it will lead to frustration, and frustration lead to stress, and stress is a partner of death. Please, beloved brothers and sisters, worry not. Embrace faith. That's the only way it's going to work for you. You're praying for that door to be open. You want a breakthrough. You want healing. You want deliverance. It doesn't go by just saying that you are a believer. It doesn't go by just saying that you know God, that God exists. It's saying that you know that God exists. He's all sufficient and He can change that situation. And it starts with you taking the first step in the name of Jesus, and it will happen. God bless you.